Hello and welcome to today's video. If you're new here, welcome, and if you've been here before, I'm glad you're back. In today's video, I am going to show you how to create a spooky Halloween kind of scenery. This is probably one of the first designs that I hand painted ever, and I really wanted to recreate it again. A bit better, hopefully, than what I did back then. But I am in love with how these came out. That it's just so spooky, and that green, and there's like that glow, and oh, I wouldn't want to be in there, to be honest. I really hope you'll enjoy today's video. I'll hope you'll recreate it because it's a really good beginner video, like design. It's gonna be so easy to create these, honestly. So yeah, if you don't believe me, just watch. I'll start off with 3 tips and Kirsty Meakin Void and Suki gel polishes, and then from Hot Tips Beauty I'm gonna use cast iron and Count 3 green, I can't pronounce that. And then this is my pinching tool that I'm gonna use like tweezers, and I really like to use that because it doesn't let go once you put something in there. I'm putting 2 layers of Suki and curing each for 30 seconds, and then I'm gonna rip this sponge because I really wanted like a raggedy edge, so I used just some tweezers to rip that off. And then I'm just gonna start sponging that country green gel paint just around the edge. As I said, this is gonna be 3 on 3 nails, and you're gonna see in a minute how that looks, because not all of them are gonna be the same. The middle one is gonna be a bit different, and you'll see what I mean. But yeah, I'm just sponging that in and not necessarily trying to blend it, as if you have more texture on there, it's better in my opinion with this kind of design. So the raggedy the better, so that's why I'm not gonna try to blend it too much. But yeah, I'm just gonna do that, and then I'm gonna give it a full cure of 60 seconds. Come on, you can do it. As you know, I'm obsessing over little details, but yeah, you can see that the edges are all rounded, and then the middle is just has the top and the bottom. Now I'm going in with that cast iron, and I will apply it a little bit further from that edge of the country green that I used, just because I really wanted the pigmented black to go on here. The gel polish doesn't have as much pigment because it's not meant to have as much pigment. So that's why I used the gel paint here instead of a gel polish. And then going in with the Glitter Bells gel brush, one of them, still don't have a name for it. I'm gonna just go around, and basically I'm just delimiting exactly where my gel polish is gonna go. And now I'm going in with Void and just paint that with the brush from the bottle. Obviously, if you do this on a client or on yourself, you would probably, around the cuticle, you'd probably have to use that more detailed brush, so the smaller brush. And I'm just gonna kind of blend that edge a little bit, but I'm not really worrying about bringing black in because I already put some of that black on there with that gel paint. So I'm just blending that color in a little bit. Again, the more raggedy the better, and then make sure you cover those edges because that green is powerful. So even with the very pigmented black, you can see it's just, yeah, you need your edges perfect, and then you can see how the whole thing looks. Now I'm just floating a layer of matte top coat, and when I say floating, I mean this is real time. I'm just really doing it very gently, and cure that for 30 seconds. And now I'm just gonna mix some of that green, that gel polish green, with some of that darker green gel paint, and just create a different shade, because I wanted something that would not be extremely noticeable, but also something that's going to stand out from the background color. So I just mixed a little bit in. You can see it's not a big difference. And then I'm gonna go in with the middle liner from the Glitterbels gel polishes, and I'm gonna start by doing some branches, really light. You don't have to, we're creating some layering here. You're gonna see in a minute why we're doing this, but you don't have to paint it to be able to be very noticeable, if that makes sense. So yeah, and then I started with some crosses and like one of those round graves, and I'm gonna add also in the background some smaller crosses, just so that they're, you know, far back basically. And yeah, just that. And then I'm going in here with some of that country green, just like the plain gel paint. And you can see it's a bit darker because this is gonna be in front of the rest, so it's gonna be a bit more noticeable. That's why it's gonna be darker, because, you know, it's like closer to us so we can see it better. So I'm just gonna paint those, and then I am going to paint some more of those branches there. Again, they don't have to be perfect, you need to keep that in mind, but also don't, you can go over the ones that you already painted a little bit, just not extreme, like don't cover every single one, because then there's no point. And then here I went in with some black as well, and I'm gonna add some of those branches again, and just again, you know, creating layering. The branches in the back are far, and then the ones that are black, they're in the front, so that's why we're creating different colored branches, because we're trying to give the idea of depth. So, you know, you can go over the graves, as you can see I'm doing right here, because again, they're not on the same level. Those graves are way in the back, and these branches are in the frontal part of our design. So yeah, and then I'm going in with some black and creating some more graves, and I'm gonna put them straight down here, because that means they're right next to the fence that I'm gonna paint in the front. So that's why I'm just kind of painting them so close to the bottom, because this way you can see that already we have a bit of a dimension going. You can see that the ones in the back are like the ones that are towards the top, they're in the back. So yeah, that's what I was trying to do. I know it doesn't make a lot of sense, I'm sorry. You can probably just watch the video and it's gonna be a lot easier for you to understand in what I'm saying. And then I decided to add a bit, like a few more branches, because at the end of the day it doesn't have to be necessarily from a tree. They can be little bushes or something, I don't know. And then here I am just adding some lines that are gonna make our fence, because obviously a cemetery needs a fence. So I'm just adding some lines, and then I'm adding one that just crosses it, and that's it. That's our fence done. I'm not gonna do anything else to that fence. And then on the side, right next to those branches, I'm actually gonna add a tree. I don't know how necessary this was, because when I applied the last layer of top coat, the last layer of matte top coat, it blended with the rest. But yeah, it's probably a little bit necessary, but I didn't have to do the branches on the top, because they are definitely blending in after. You'll see in a minute what I mean. But yeah, anyway, I'm just adding again branches everywhere. I just played with it at this point. I didn't even care for that side, because I knew it was going to be the same shade of black at the end, so there was no point in me adding too much detail. So I just kind of made them all right. I just thought, you know, in case you can see something, there is something there, but yeah, you can't. Then I'm applying another layer of matte top coat, and again I'm kind of floating it, and I will cure that for 30 seconds, and then this is the nail done. And you can see that right at the top there, you can't really see any of the branches. So yeah, I don't think there was any point in that. Anyway, middle nail, as you can see here, I've put the top and the bottom, I've done them like really foggy and black and green and whatever. And then I started with, again, the same mix of that gel polish with that gel paint. And I've done some little crosses here and there and some graves. I can't, I can't talk by now. And then I moved on to the middle here. That's country green, so it's the gel paint, which is a lot darker and more pigmented, obviously, because it's a gel paint. And then I'm adding obviously some branches as well in that gel paint. It all becomes a bit of a mess, but once you put that black with the branches, you can actually just see something in the background. You don't have to see exactly what it is or to be able to follow anything. So that's why I've done it. It's just a thing that, it's not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily attract the attention of the viewer, but at the same time, it just adds to the whole design and all the details. Anyway, the bottom half, you saw already, I've done a little fence, because obviously the fence needs to go around, so it's not only one nail. It's gonna go around on however many nails you want to do. And then I'm adding some more of these graves and just making different shapes, different sizes, they're always different, same as the people, so yeah. And then I'm adding some branches as well, and again you can see everything in the background just gets pushed back, and you're not really focusing your attention on those anymore. You're focusing your attention on the ones in the foreground, but it's good to have those in the background because they just add to the whole effect. As I said 15 million times already in this video, it's gonna be very repetitive, I'm sorry. But matte top coat and this nail is done. I think this one's my favorite, I don't know why, but I love it. And then on this one, exactly how we did on the other one, only on the other side. It makes so much sense what I'm saying, doesn't it? I'm adding branches, I'm adding some crosses. Again, doesn't matter if they touch each other because they are not the same height, even though they seem to be the same height when you paint them. They're not actually the same height because those are right at the back, and the branches, yeah, they're just in the foreground a little bit at the back, so it's different. And again, I'm going in with the 3 different colors, so the mix that I've done, country green, and then I'm gonna go with black in a minute. Here, I'm gonna go here with black, there you go. See, I told you, you didn't believe me. God. And the same thing as I've done before, I'm just adding a fence, and then I decided that you're not gonna be able to see the fence on that side anyway, so why should I bother? And then I added a cross and another one. No, I'm adding just a grave. I know for sure I'm adding another cross on this one. But yeah, just filling that in. Also, I've done a big mistake here, and I decided to tell you because, you might not want to do the same mistake as me. I've painted with the gel paint a bit thicker, so that means that I actually got some wrinkling. So what I would do next time is actually just do thinner layers of the gel paint. And I really wanted to do 1 layer and that's it, but yeah, that didn't work out. So I would definitely recommend to do 2 layers of the gel paint when you paint bigger areas like that grave or the tree here on the side where it's a bigger and thicker area. And you can actually see how thick I painted that, because otherwise it's gonna wrinkle. And yeah, here I tried to do little bushes, but you're not actually able to see them at the end, but I tried. Then matte top coat. And these are all done now, and as you saw, it was so easy and so fast to do. It's just, everything is about layers. The more layers you add, the more depth you're gonna create. So that's what we did here. We created layers. of different colors, which gave us that depth. So, you know, everything that's in the background is gonna get pushed back, and then something that's in the front here is gonna be popping into your eyes because it's so bold and colorful. Well, not in this case because it's black, but you get what I mean. You can use this kind of technique with any kind of other landscape, I would say. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, you know, give it a thumbs up, comment down below if you have any more ideas. And I don't know, maybe share this with your friends, you know. So I will see you next time. Okay, bye.